Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk is.
Charlie Kirk has.
Charlie Kirk.
Have you wondered who is Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk was activist, was known for his debates and opinions. He was born in October 14 and recently passed away this month. So here is Charlie Kirk 10 beliefs. Kirk has repeatedly framed the event as a non-serious, almost tourist-like incident, or a setup by federal agents. Quote, "I think January 6th, we're going to look back on that and realize that was a setup. That was a total setup. It was instigated, I believe, by federal agents," on his podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show. This contradicts the findings of multiple courts, the bipartisan January 6 committee, and law enforcement testimony. Hundreds of participants have been convicted on charges, including seditious conspiracy and assaulting police officers. The Fed instigation theory is a widely debunked conspiracy claim with no substantial evidence. Kirk promotes a version of the conspiracy theory that Democratic elites are deliberately encouraging immigration to replace white, conservative voters. The Democrats are importing and then legalizing millions of people to replace current American voters. That is their political strategy. Tweet, May 2, 2022. The Great Replacement theory is a white supremacist conspiracy theory. Critics argue it's a racist and inflammatory framing of immigration policy, suggesting a deliberate plot to disenfranchise and replace a specific racial group. It has been cited as a motivation for several mass shootings. Kirk has been a prominent promoter of the false claim that the 2020 presidential election was stolen through widespread fraud. This was a stolen election. There is no question about it. Speaking at a Stop the Steal rally after the election, this claim has been thoroughly debunked. Dozens of court cases, including those overseen by Trump-appointed judges, found no evidence of widespread fraud. Audits and recounts in key states reaffirmed the results, and Trump's own Attorney General, William Barr, stated the Justice Department found no fraud on a scale that could have changed the outcome. Kirk has made numerous false or misleading claims about the safety and efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines. Quote, "The vaccine is not stopping the spread of COVID. It is a treatment. It is not a vaccine." On his show, July 2021. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how vaccines work. While breakthrough infections are possible, all major health agencies have extensive data showing the vaccine significantly reduce the risk of infection, transmission, severe illness, and death. Calling it a treatment instead of a vaccine is a semantic argument rejected by the scientific community. Kirk often portrays higher education, particularly liberal arts, as entirely worthless and purely ideological. Quote, "College is a scam. It is the biggest waste of money in American history," a frequent refrain on his show and in speeches. Critics argue this is a vast oversimplification. While concerns about the cost of college and ideological bias on campuses are valid debates, data consistently shows that college graduates, on average, earn significantly more over their lifetimes than those with only a high school diploma. The statement ignores the tangible economic and intellectual benefits for millions. Kirk frequently asserts that a secret, unelected bureaucracy, the deep state, controls the U.S. government against the will of the people. Quote, "The deep state is the permanent political class that exists regardless of election outcomes. They are the true rulers of America." From his book Time for a Turning Point. While the term is often used to describe the inertia of any large bureaucracy, Kirk uses it to suggest a coordinated, sinister conspiracy. Critics argue this undermines faith in democratic institutions and serves as a catch-all explanation for political setbacks, without providing specific, verifiable evidence of a unified, shadow government. Kirk routinely dismisses the scientific consensus on human-caused climate change. The climate change agenda is a hoax. It's about control. It's not about the environment. Tweet, September 23, 2019. This directly contradicts the overwhelming consensus of climate scientists worldwide, for example, NASA, NOAA, the IPCC, who have provided extensive evidence that climate change is real, primarily human-caused, and poses severe risks. Framing it solely as a hoax for control is a political argument, not a scientific one. Kirk often argues that the United States has been unfairly maligned for its history with slavery, and that its role is exaggerated. Quote, "The United States is the greatest country to ever exist. We inherited the institution of slavery, and we defeated it," paraphrased common argument from his speeches. Critics argue this framing minimizes the foundational role slavery played in the American economy for centuries and the enduring legacy of systemic racism. It presents the Civil War as a simple, triumphant ending to racism, ignoring the complexities of Reconstruction, Jim Crow laws, and ongoing racial disparities. Kirk uses apocalyptic and hyperbolic language to describe political opponents, framing them as existential threats. Quote, "The Democratic Party is the single greatest threat to Western civilization," a frequent statement at his rallies. While strong political rhetoric is common, critics argue this kind of language is dangerously inflammatory. It frames political disagreement not as a difference in policy, but as a battle between good and absolute evil, which can dehumanize opponents and discourage compromise, a cornerstone of democratic governance. Kirk frequently makes claims about transgender people and LGBTQ+ rights that are inaccurate or inflammatory. Quote, "There is no such thing as transgender. There is men and there is women. It's a mental disorder." On his show, discussing transgender issues, this statement contradicts the positions of major medical and psychological associations, including the American Medical Association (AMA) and the American Psychological Association (APA), which recognize that transgender identity is a valid aspect of human diversity, not a mental disorder. Such statements are widely criticized as harmful and stigmatizing to the transgender community.
5 o'clock, we continue working breaking news out of Utah. Podcaster and Republican activist Charlie Kirk is dead after being shot during a debate. President Trump just making that.